Hi there and welcome to your yoga class. Today we are doing a chakra flow and we're going to be concentrating on our sacral chakra and of course down at the sacrum, at the lower back. Sanskrit name is Svadhisthana for this. So we are going to start down on the floor today. And it's all to do with our pelvic region, about opening it up. So we're going to start off with some pelvic rolls. So we're going to tilt it back and forward. Make sure there's a wee space pushing into your feet. You're going to roll it up and down, just like this. Try and breathe in the way up, exhale on the way down. So you'll have a wee arch in the back when it's coming down. And just if you picture from the side, it will be tilting backwards and forwards. So this is really good for activating our sacral chakra, but it's also really good for, if you sit at a desk and it's really, really stiff all day. So taking your four fingers and your thumbs together in a sort of diamond shape in Yoni Mudra and pop the soles of your feet together, we're going to come into butterfly pose. You can pop blocks underneath those knees if you want to. Just pausing here. If that's too uncomfortable, you can put your hands down on the floor. But the sacral chakra is all related to water and movement and expansion. So it's all about getting things moving and opening, opening the hips, the thighs, all these sorts of things. So there's lots of hip openers and forward bends and things like that in this sort of practice, so as that we don't have you feeling too rigid and stiff or anything like that. And also just balancing you up on the other side as well. So just get your breathing sorted. And of course this leads on from the root chakra that we did below. It's right at the bottom of your spine. So we're going to take our right knee into our chest, just rolling the foot. That's it. And then bring the left knee into the chest, just for a nice little stretch. Again, rolling the foot if you want to, whatever feels nice here. And so just flap your knees up and down just a little bit there. Really, really nice and gently. Just get the movement going again. Nice and gently. Then you can help with your hands if you like to bring those knees back up again. Now feet about a foot length away from your bottom and hip width apart. Now peel that sacrum up first. Okay, so rather than just popping up to bridge, peel up. Pushing the shoulders blades into the floor, but relaxing your shoulders. Keep the knees hip width apart and keep those big toes on the floor, lowering back down really nice and gently. So we're going to go into happy baby pose. So lifting your legs up, you can hold on to the back of your thighs like this, or you can hold on to the outside of the feet and pop your elbows to the inside of your knees. I just prefer to do it this way because it can help push your knees sort of out and down. A really nice hip opener, this one. This is really, for me, one of the ultimate hip openers. You're pulling apart your legs and down, so you're really opening them. Now you can straighten your legs a little bit like this if you want to, if that makes it a little bit of a better stretch for you. You can also rock side to side a little bit as well. So just bringing your feet down, let's rock up. You might take a couple of tries to rock up. And then coming on to your hands and your knees. Shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. And let's take some cat-cows. So exhale, back goes up to the ceiling, head comes down. Inhale, head comes up, tummy heads towards the floor. So you're really flexing and extending the spine as much as you can. It shouldn't be sore, but you're isolating the torso. Your arms and your legs aren't really moving at this point. So really, really nice to loosen up the back. This one. Nice to get things flowing as well. So now we're going to do some really nice hip circles. So we're going to do about 5 in one direction, 5 in the other. So really starting to loosen it up, pushing right back as far as you can, out to the side, right to the front. Really trying to feel the movement of the hips. Shut your eyes if you like to as well. Tune into the sensation. And just really rooting down through your knees and your hands and getting that nice flowing feeling going. As I say, water is really closely associated with this chakra. So it is all about flowing and moving and getting everything. We've rooted down through our root chakra. in our previous class, and now we're getting all that prana and energy flowing as well. So loosen up a little bit and, have a little bit of fun with it. So coming back to your neutral spine, I'll show you from the side here. We're going to do some fire hydrants, which means lifting your knee up 4 times. So knee right up, trying to keep everything square, quite a challenge, but just lifting it up 4 times to the side. And then pushing your left foot back. We're going to come into thread the needle pose. So the right hand comes up and then pulls through between the left hand and that left leg. Now you can, if you want to, extend the left arm like mine. This feels quite good for me, but you don't have to. And by the same token, you don't have to have that back leg extended. You can just be on your knees if you want, if it's just too much for you. But making a nice little triangle shape if you want to. So coming back, push into the ground with your left hand to come back up. So from there, I'll show you from the side. You don't need to turn to the side, but then that left foot's going to come out to the side, planted on the floor, right hand up. Then slide that left hand down your leg to come into a lovely gate pose. So you'll get a lovely side stretch here, whilst you're opening up the hips as well with that left leg. Looking up if you can. You don't have to though. And then coming back down to your tabletop pose. So now we're going to take that left foot out the back and do some knee to noses. So just 3 of these. 3, you don't need to reach your nose, but just 3 curling your knee in to meet your nose. And after that, let's bring our left foot between our hands and we're going to come into a low lunge. So straighten the back leg if you can, and I want you to try and wave from side to side. Again, get that movement in, rock back and forward as well. Anything that kind of feels good here is perfectly acceptable, all the while keeping the hips sinking down. So we're going to come up to a pyramid pose now. So straighten that front leg. Doesn't need to be completely straight, remember. You can have a wee bend in it if you want, and fold over. If that's too much, you can always put your hands on your hips and just fold to wherever is easy for you to get to. So let's come all back down again, back into tabletop. Let's do it on the other side. So let's do those fire hydrants first. So 4 fire hydrants with your right foot. You'll feel that on the outside of that thigh there. And then pressing it back, ready to thread the needle again. So left hand up, post it through between the right hand and the right leg. Head comes down to the floor. And again, you can stretch that left hand out in front of you if you want to. It's all just optional. And again, you don't have to have that leg out the back either. But pausing here, just feeling everything opening up. Push into the floor with your right hand. Left hand goes back up and then we come back down again. So let's do that gate pose again. So the right leg comes out to the side, remember. Left hand up and then you slide the right hand down. And just remember and keep your body straight while we're doing that as well. So let's come back on to all 4s and do our knee to nose curls now. So heel pushing out through the back. You don't need to reach your nose with the knee, as long as you're curling that spine in and opening up on the way out. And then right foot goes between the hands this time. Low lunge, straighten the back leg if you can and get that waving going. Nice and fluid. Rocking back and forward, side to side. It's just all about feeling kind of loose here. Move whatever way feels nice. Then pyramid pose, so straighten the front leg as much as it'll straighten and fold forward, chest to thighs. But if it won't, if you don't want your front leg completely straight, that's fine. You should have a micro bend in it anyway. So coming back down into your low lunge again. What we're going to do now is step back to downward dog. So your feet are hip width apart and your hands are shoulder width apart. Pedal it out. Do whatever feels nice here. Lifting the hips high, breathing, taking your time, just here for a couple of breaths, and then walking up to your hands at the front. Now bend your knees here. We're going to come into a ragdoll, a lovely forward fold. You can have your knees as bent as you want. You can hold on to the inside of your elbows, but let that head hang. Okay, again, all about the movement, sway from side to side and then roll up really, really slowly and come to stand at the top of your mat in mountain pose, feet together, nice and relaxed. relaxed. So let's come down into a chair pose now, hips and knees back. You can look ahead or look up if you want to. Just watch those knees don't come in front of the toes. Come down as much as you can without compromising. And push into the feet to come back up. So lifting up your right leg, you're going to do 3 circles one way with your knee and then 3 circles the other way. You can hold on to it if you want to as well, if that's easier. And then before you put it down, step it back. We're going to come into a warrior 2. So just plant that foot at the back, okay? Front knee is bent. Front ankle is under your knee. And then pop your elbow onto your knee, extended side angle pose. Getting a nice straight line from the fingers down to your feet. Hands back on the floor. And then let's come into a side plank. You can come down on your elbow for this one if you want to. Nice and strong. And bending that bottom knee if you need to as well, because it can be a challenging one, this one. So back to a normal plank, lower down to the floor. Top of the feet to the floor, come up to cobra pose. Tucking the feet in. You can come up to tabletop first, then downward dog, or straight up to downward dog. Walking up to those hands again. Let's straighten the spine and forward fold. Inhale, come up, hands come up, palms together. Exhale, let's get back to mountain pose just for a second. Catch your breath, relax. Chair pose again, just like we did before, looking up or looking straight ahead. Nice strong core, push into the feet to come back up. Left foot comes up this time and does those knee circles, so 3 one way, 3 the other way. And then remember not to put it down and just step it right back, plant it on the floor, sideways or 45 degrees, wherever you need to be. Front knee is bent, arms out. Relax those shoulders, look along your front arm. Then your elbow comes onto the knee, fingertips to foot is a really nice straight line. Hands back on the floor and come into your side plank. So remember, you can come onto your elbow or onto your knee at the bottom here. Back to a normal plank, lowering down. Coming up to cobra or up dog. And then lifting those hips nice and high up to downward dog. So from your downward dog, we're going to lift up the left leg and bend the knee, okay? And we're going to do some really nice hip circles. So 3 anti-clockwise, 3 clockwise, just trying to open up the hip as much as you can. It can feel a little bit awkward if you're not used to doing this, but just do the best you can. And once you've done them, step that left foot between your hands again. Now here we are again in warrior 2, plant the back foot. And we're going to reverse warrior this time. So the left hand comes up, other hand is on your thigh, legs don't move. Now let's come into triangle pose. So straighten the legs. Then you're going to move out over that front foot. Left hand comes down. Now your back of the hand might come to the calf. And your top hand might be on your waist if you want to. But bend into your knee again. Now come into your half moon pose. So you can do this on blocks, or you can just stay in the previous pose as well. And then let's put the foot down and come to ragdoll pose again. Just like we did before. So stepping back to downward dog from ragdoll pose. We're going to do the same on the other side. So this time the right leg comes up. Bend that leg and let's start doing our circles. 3 one way, 3 the other way. And don't put the foot down after you've finished, because the foot's going to come forward between the hands. That's it. And then we're going to do our warriors on the other side. Up nice and strong, remember. Hands out, relax your shoulders, sinking the hips down. And reverse that warrior by bringing the right hand up and over, left hand on your thigh. Straightening the front leg. And move over the front foot first, then coming down into triangle pose, trying to bring that left shoulder back. You might want to hold onto the toe. Your hand might only be coming to your knee, that's fine, just have it as the back of your hand. bending into your knee and coming up to that half moon if you want to. You can use blocks, as I say. You can hold on to something too, the wall, something like that. But meeting back in ragdoll pose, whatever your option is. So let's step back to another downward dog. Pushing your chest back to your thighs. And let's come down to a really wide child's pose. So big toes together, knees out to the edge of the mat. As far as you want your knees out, hands out in front. Just feel the nice stretch on your glutes. Opening up those hips. Relaxing down. Your bottom doesn't need to come right back to your heels, remember. You can always put a blanket in there or prop it up with a block. But it doesn't need to come right down at all. So from here, you're then going to come on to your side. So come on to your right arm first, and we're going to do some clam shells. So that means bending your knees and opening your knees. Trying to isolate that movement. Nice big hip opener, this one. You can also lie on your arm as well if you want. You don't have to sit up at the side. Just involves a wee side bend if you are. So we're doing 10 of these, and you should be feeling this in your thigh. Then after that, extend your leg out, and we're going to do leg raises, 10 of as well. So only raising your leg as much as you can. See what is available to you, and raising it up and down, heel flexed. As engaging your glutes, your thighs. Your legs are working pretty hard here, remember. So only coming up as far as you can, not pushing it too far. And then we come on to toe circles. So let's point our toes now. And we're going to do 10 circles clockwise, 10 circles anti-clockwise. And by now your thigh should be maybe talking to you quite loudly. Remember, nothing's meant to be sore. A bit uncomfortable, sure, but not sore. So, coming onto your back, and you're going to take that left foot, or the left leg which we've just worked, cross it over into a recline pigeon pose. So keep the feet flexed. Now you can keep the right foot on the floor if you want to, or hold on to the back of the thigh like this, or onto the shin. But that should feel really nice after all that work that we've just done. And then we're going to do an IT band stretch, that big bit of connective tissue on the outside of the left thigh. So come over to the right until your left foot's on the floor. You might want to hold on to your left foot or push the left knee away. You're meant to be feeling it on the outside of your thigh, so kind of play about with it a little bit until you can feel it. It's different for everybody. And then give the legs a little windscreen wiper, ready to do it on the other side. So leaning again on your elbow, or you can be lying down, or have your head resting on your hand, that's fine. We're going to do those clam shells. So bent knees, separating the knees, sort of pivoting the hips out and in. Really nice hip openers, this one. And your thigh and glutes are working quite hard too. Remember, 10 of these. Keeping a nice even flow, not going too fast. And then our leg raises. So remember, heel flexed, up and down. Trying to isolate it, so that your legs having to work pretty hard here. Ten of these again, and then we'll move on to our circles with our toes. Point the toe this time. 10 clockwise, 10 anti-clockwise. Try and keep that leg straight as well. So coming down onto your back again, on the same leg, cross the right leg over, make sure the knee's kept away from you. Stay down there if you want, or hold on to the left thigh to open it up more. It should feel very deep but very nice after all those movements we've just done with our leg. Keep the feet flexed as well, remember. And then we'll do our IT band stretch. So we're wanting to feel it on the outside of the right thigh when we come down to do this. So just letting your knee fall to the left, right foot to the floor, And again, push the knee away, right knee away. Or you might want to hold on to the foot. It works, it's just different for everybody. So it's quite hard to get into the IT band to stretch it. Pause in there for a couple of breaths. Coming back up and doing some windscreen wipers with your legs again, just to loosen everything back up. So coming into our happy baby pose again, hold on to the back of the thighs or again to the outside of the feet. Have a wriggle about if you want to. Pull the feet down and out to open the hips up as much as possible, and straighten the legs if you want to. Just makes it a little bit more intense for you. That's it. Bringing the knees into the chest. Rock side to side if you like, if that feels quite nice. And even bring your knees into your chest, sort of bringing them in and out. Can feel quite nice and comforting. And then we're going to relax into our Shavasana. So take up lots of room. Really feel like you're grounding into the earth. Top of the hands on the floor. Get ready for some relaxation and just allow yourself to yield to the Shavasana. Feel how nice your body is after your practice. How has your body changed since beginning your practice? And just tune into your breathing. And just for the next few minutes, just relax. So starting to come back into the room, maybe wiggling your toes and your fingers, inviting the movement back in, however feels good, maybe bending your knees, having a stretch, that sort of idea. But before sitting up, just rolling onto your side and just pausing there just for a little second, so you're not getting up too quickly and disturbing the calm that you've created in the last few minutes. So coming up into a comfortable seated position, legs crossed or on your knees. Just pop your hands on your knees. Just pause for a second, feel the stillness. Just checking in with your body, how you're feeling. And then let's put our hands at our heart. And we're going to finish with a namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for your sacral chakra flow today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get all the new videos and classes as well. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.